Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. I hope you can hear me over the truck. I'm rolling up the windows. But I want to talk about conspiracy deniers. I want to talk about people, you know exactly who I'm talking about. You'll look up at the sky, and if somebody even has the presence of mind to say, "What are you looking at?" And if you are crazy enough to say, "Well, I'm looking at that airplane spraying a giant tic-tac-toe pattern in the sky. I'm watching them fly directly and only in front of the sun, blocking out the sun." And they'll look at you like you're an idiot, and they'll say, "What are you? That's obviously condensation. We've heard it from the weatherman." Well, yeah, you did hear it from the weatherman. But did you hear the other weathermen back in the early 2000s, whatever you want to call it, I don't know, that actually said this thing showing up on the radar is actually military chaff because I was in the military, so forth and so on, and then that guy lost his job. He's gone. So now people still call you a conspiracy theorist because you're pointing out the chemtrails that they're spraying in the sky, that they've been spraying in the sky for 20 years, which is why the sky is no longer blue. It's light blue. Now you can actually show them the website for Harvard University, where Harvard has come out and said, we are spraying the sky to bounce the sun's rays back into outer space because of global warming or climate change, because, you know, that's what's going on. It has nothing to do with the fact that they've been spraying the sky for 20 years that I know of, and the spray has been fouling up the weather to the point where California's been in drought conditions for what, 10 years, to the point where people are painting their grass to make it green because they have no water. You can show people that want to deny things the stack of information, the book by architects and engineers. Well, they're conspiracy theorists. Of course they are. The thousands of architects and engineers in the United States that all came forward directly after 9/11 and said it is not possible for a steel frame building, let alone 3 of them that were only hit by 2 planes, to collapse in the exact same manner, faster than free fall. These buildings collapsed as though they weren't buildings at all. As though the building below the top of the building suddenly just, there was no building. I know that's a little diluted. Thousands of architects and engineers, thousands of pilots that fly commercial planes have come forward. Hundreds of police officers, firemen, people that were there on 9/11 came forward. Guess what happened to all of them? Their testimony's still floating around YouTube someplace, but they all lost their jobs. They all got really sick. They all got embroiled by the IRS or something to that effect, but they were all effectively quieted. And yet the people that you're making yourself look like an idiot trying to wake up look at you as though they're the smartest people ever, and they refuse to look at any information that proves what you're saying. We are making unfounded, ridiculous claims about things. There's aliens. I don't think there's aliens at all. I don't think any of that's real. I do think our military has some serious technology that no longer runs on gasoline that can accelerate, decelerate, and defy what we call gravity. That's definitely real. Aliens? Nope. You know why? Because unlike science, I believe, and I'm right, that we are special. According to science, we're a random blip. We used to be mud. We held our breath. There used to be nothing on the planet Earth, and then suddenly it evolved magically into everything. Plants, trees, grass, water, air, birds, bees, snakes, cows, people, and then all the different races. According to them, that all evolved from nothing. The entire universe was nothing, and then one day it exploded. That right there, unless you look at it through the goggles of science, that right there is ludicrous. The Big Bang says there was nothing. And then one day it all exploded and turned into everything. That's absolutely perfect. The earth is the perfect setup for humanity, for animals, for plants, for trees, for birds, for bees. The moon is the exact distance away to block out the sun entirely, even though the sun is this enormous thing that's 93 million miles away, even though it's not. And the moon's 236,000 miles away, even though it probably isn't. That everything works out perfectly and nothing crashes into anything. And in our recorded history, we have no meteors, comets, anything striking the earth. But let's continue to listen to them. You try to tell this to the average person, especially someone with a college degree, because they're really good at memorizing and regurgitating, because that's all school is. That's all it is. Why do you think the elites why don't they go to public school? Because public school is to make it so that people read, write, and repeat. And then they stand and sit. They go to the bathroom when they're allowed to. Their school, public school, is to ready people for the private sector. But the wealthy people all send their kids to a different school, the Ivy League. You see what I mean? And it's amazing how sarcastic, how self-righteous, how smarmy, how smug people are when you try to explain to them that their kids don't have a future, that this is all coming to an end in my lifetime unless I get hit by a bolt of lightning or a space station falls out of the sky. You can prove with NASA's own words that they've never been to the moon, that they can't actually even get into outer space yet. People will quote them all the time. Oh, well, we've got a spaceship. We've got a camera 1 billion miles away that's focused right on Earth, that takes pictures of it, but never actually has video of it revolving in the sky. There are no real pictures of the planet Earth. You can think what you want, but go to NASA's site and then read the fine print. They're all artist conceptions or they're composite images. I could set a GoPro on a rocket like people have done, shoot it into space, and look at the moon and the sun in the same atmosphere. Yeah, that's a thing. That's really out there. Trying to wake up some people, their own pride and ego gets in the way. We live in a society, thanks to television and everything else, money, people want to be better than everyone else. Nobody wants to be the same. Nobody wants to love their fellow human. Everybody wants to shoot everybody else. We grew up in a I can't think of the word. We grew up in a atmosphere of war. A bunch of guys in business suits get mad at each other because one country won't bow to what the other country wants, because we are Empire America. So those guys in business suits the kids aren't in the military, they've never been in the military, they decide we're going to war, and then they send our kids, or us, like myself, to war. You see what I'm saying? It's an enormous mind F, and trying to wake up the self-righteous, educated people is almost impossible. It amazes me how they look at you like, oh, he's a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm not that. I'm actually somebody that bothered to read the paperwork put out by people that actually build buildings. And I've actually sat in rooms with people that were police officers on the day of 9/11 that heard the buildings full of bombs. Boom, 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 boom. The firemen that were there, sounds like the floors were popping out. Boom, 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 boom. You can hear the explosions. The planes hitting the building, if it really did occur like that, the plane hits the building, it explodes, so doesn't the gas. There isn't some special gas that some of it explodes and then the rest of it leaked inside the building, causing the building to catch on fire and then totally collapse in 10 seconds. 110 stories in 10 seconds. Duplicate it, replicate it, scientifically prove it. They didn't even investigate any of that to see if there was explosives in the building, because they knew it was. They took the entire crime scene, put it on a barge, and sent it to China. After 9/11, China suddenly turned into a superpower. Everything's made in China now. You think that's all by coincidence? You think that's an accident? At any rate, this is my life. I'm Richie from Boston. I talk to people and they look at me and they think in their heads, you're an idiot, because I don't understand what you're talking about. So I'm going to call you crazy. And that's where we're at. Richie from Boston. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. I'm out.